Hello fellow woodworkers and woodturners. Welcome once again to another episode of The Naked Turner. Today I'm going to be turning another poplar bowl, but it's going to be a little bit bigger. It's a 11 and 7/8 bowl, so I'll probably end up with like an 11 and 3/4 inch bowl, somewhere around that size, by 3 3/4, so it'll probably be 3.5 or so thick in its final completed version, if I can pull it off. Don't forget to read, understand, and follow all the shop safety for the tool that you're using. Okay, so here I have this 11 and 7/8 by 11 and 7/8 by 3 3/4 inch slab of poplar, and I have it on my circle cutting jig again. I'm about to operate that. My blade is tensioned up and everything's adjusted, and hopefully this will work. Alright, so this is kind of funny and a little sad. When I had measured my pin space, I actually ended up putting it in the wrong hole, and so this is going to end up being a smaller bowl. Well, unfortunately, I only ended up with a 9 3/4 inch bowl blank. I had a couple problems cutting, had to decrease my size, and there you go. Right, I have this piece of poplar chucked up here, and see just how thick it is. So yeah, it's actually more like 4 inches thick. So I'll have a deep bowl that's about probably right around 9.5 inches when I'm done. I'm going to true this up here. And I'm using my roughing gouge to start out with. I'm using my P&N roughing gouge to rough this into a true cylinder. Okay, one little flat spot right here. Okay, switching over to my bowl gouge. Switching over to my bowl gouge for a moment, and sorry about the camera strap hanging into the right hand side of the frame. Okay, now that's round. So I think I'm going to go for a more curved bowl this time. something more of a traditional style bowl, and that's what I'm going to start shaping now. Turning up the speed some. Okay, so right here I'm just using my P&N bowl gouge to shape the underside of the bowl, flatten off the foot, and now I pulled out my 1/2 inch scraper and I'm using the scraper to just finish off the cuts, doing some fine passes and refining the shape of the bottom of the bowl. Alright, here we go. There we go. That's much better. I just sharpened up my 1/2 inch by 1/2 inch scraper, and it's making a much nicer cut. And I'm doing a couple final passes around the bottom of the bowl to finish off and refine the shape. And hopefully make the end grain a little bit smoother before I go to sanding. Yeah, that's much better. Okay, and you can already see the glinting in this without even having any finish on it. So it looks like this is going to be a real nice piece of poplar. Let's move back, move up some, right about there, locking off and shaping this outer edge a little bit more. Okay, I'm using the 1/2 inch scraper again on the outside of the bowl, not so much on the bottom, but just to get rid of the end grain tear out on the outer edge of the bowl. I'm liking that, other than this poplar loves to just tear out here on the end. I'm going to see if I can come out that. Okay, here I'm using my 1/2 inch by 1/2 inch scraper at an angle, rubbing the bevel and creating more of a shear cut instead of just a flat scraping cut. I've angled my blade and I've beveled the cut, and it will help to shear the wood off in a cleaner fashion. Alright, so now I'm going to make the mortise here. Alright, before I make the mortise, I like to use my calipers to define the outside edge of the mortise that I'm going to make. Then I take my 1/2 inch by 1/2 inch my 1/2 inch by 1/4 inch scraper, and I use that to hollow out up to the line that I've created for my mortise. Here I'm using my 1/2 inch by 1/4 inch scraper again, but I'm using it to flatten the bottom of the foot on the bowl. And I'm doing, once again, I'm creating a shearing cut by angling the tool and rubbing the bevel. using my skew chisel to create a slight bevel. For my 4-jaw scrolling chuck. And there we go. That should have it. It looks pretty good, except that I have a little tear out over here. So I try to remove that. I'm removing the tear out on the edge of the foot of the bowl with my 1/2 inch by 1/4 inch scraper, and refining the bottom edge of the foot to get rid of any of the tear out that I had noticed. Okay, there we go. That's better. A little bit of sanding, and hopefully all that should go away. Let's see one more little spot here. There we go. It's much better. Okay, looks like I still have enough of a recess there for this bowl. And now I'll do some power sanding on the back side of this. No need to watch that because it's extremely boring. I'm applying finish to the fully shaped bottom and outside edges of the bowl. And then I'm buffing that finish in and creating a friction rub finish on the outside and bottom of this bowl. Good. A fresh rag here. I'm using a fresh cotton rag in order to buff in the friction rub finish. Okay, first thing I'm going to do is face this off. I have the bowl turned around on my scrolling jaw chuck, and I'm getting ready to face off the front of the bowl, or the top edge of the bowl, before I go to hollowing out the inside. Now that it's faced off, I'm using my bowl gouge to create the shape at the outer edge of the bowl rim, which I'm just doing a really nice soft radius on. Okay, as I go to start hollowing this bowl out, I'm wanting to create a little bit of a hollow form edge on it where I have a recess on the outer lip of the rim on this bowl. I'm using my Patience & Nichols bowl gouge to remove material and shape the outer rim on the bowl. Now, I'm switching over to my 1/4 inch by 1/4 inch scraper, round nose scraper, to get up in underneath the hollow edge on the rim of this bowl. Now I'm switching back to my 5/8 bowl gouge, and I'm doing more hollowing and a little shear scraping on the outer edge of the rim on this bowl. I switched over to my bottom feeder momentarily, and I'm using that to remove material rapidly from the bottom. Now I've switched over to my 1/2 inch by 1/2 inch heavy duty bowl scraper to remove some material and refine the outer wall edge on the bowl. just continuing to remove material using my 1/2 inch by 1/2 inch heavy duty bowl scraper. I've switched back to my 5/8 bowl gouge, and I'm doing some shear scraping on the inside outer edge of the wall on the bowl, trying to remove any little humps or bumps that might be in it. Okay, it's starting to take shape, although there's some more refining to do. I am achieving very close to the outer wall thickness that I'm looking for. I'm using my bottom feeder bowl gouge to remove the center portion of the bottom of the bowl. Alright, I'm almost there. I'm using my 1/2 inch by 1/2 inch heavy duty bowl scraper to just do some final passes and clean up the bottom of the bowl. Alright, I'm putting some finish on, sanded down to 320, and I'm just applying some friction rub finish to the inside. Like you could use just a tiny little sanding on the inside for a second, just to knock down the additional burrs that popped up. And there we go. Okay, I think that's got it. Yep. Alright, fella. Hello, wood turners. Here it is, the finished poplar bowl. A little turned in lip. Turned out real nice. And just wanted to share this with you. You guys are having a good time doing your turnings, and I know it's just another bowl, but I thought I'd take another video and share it with you, and who knows, maybe somebody else, someone new might see it and be inspired to turn something similar. There you have it, finished poplar bowl.